Who is Jesus? It's a question of absolutely critical importance. Was he simply a good man who walked around in sandals, spoke some proverbs, and treated everyone with kindness? Or was he something more? Maybe you grew up going to church but never really understood why Jesus was all that important. Or maybe you met someone who was all into Jesus and you didn't understand why. So let's try to answer the question, who is Jesus? The claims of Jesus. When it comes to answering the question of, who is Jesus, we need to look at what he said about himself. So who did Jesus say he was? The most astonishing claim that Jesus made about himself was that he was God. Not an angel. Not a prophet. No, he claimed to be God himself. And so in John 5:18 it says, "This was why the Jews were seeking all the more to kill him, because not only was he breaking the Sabbath, but he was even calling God his own Father, making himself equal with God." I encourage you to answer that question by examining the many claims of Jesus about himself. Jesus claimed to be the way, truth, and life. Not only did Jesus claim that he was God himself, but he also claimed to be the way to God, the truth, and the life. Not one truth among many. No, he claimed to be the source of all truth. In John 14:6 Jesus said to him, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." He didn't say that he was one among many paths to God. He claimed to be the only way to God. He also claimed to be the source of all truth. According to Jesus, everyone can't have their own truth. He alone is the truth and everything he says is true. If you want to answer the question of, who is Jesus, you have to wrestle with these claims that Jesus made. Jesus claimed to be the source of eternal life. Not only did Jesus claim to be the only way to God, but he also claimed that he could give eternal life to people. In John 17:3, Jesus said, "And this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ whom you have sent." Jesus says that the only way a person can have eternal life is by knowing him. There is simply no other way. You can't have eternal life by doing good things. You only can have eternal life if you believe in and personally know Jesus Christ. Either Jesus is correct and he gives eternal life, or he is straight up off his rocker. Can Jesus give eternal life? If not, then who was he? The acts of Jesus. It's one thing to look at the claims of Jesus. After all, anyone can claim to be God. But here's the thing. Jesus also did extraordinary, crazy, out of this world things. Things that no normal human could do. These things were witnessed by thousands of people and recorded in the Bible. What sorts of things did Jesus do? Instantly healed those who were blind. Caused the paralyzed to walk again. Brought multiple people back from the dead. Fed 5,000 people with just a few loaves of bread and some fish. And dozens of other supernatural things. These miracles were seen not just by one or two people, but by great crowds of them. Do you want to answer the question, who is Jesus? Then you must determine what all these miracles and supernatural events actually mean. Jesus rose from the dead. Perhaps the greatest evidence that Jesus is different from everyone else is that he was physically, really killed and then was physically, really rose from the dead. You may be tempted to think, but this is just a legend. And you're absolutely right. No one can rise from the dead. Unless they're the one who has power over death. Jesus' resurrection from the dead wasn't just witnessed by a few people either. First, Jesus appeared to two women near his tomb. Then he appeared to Peter, then to his 12 disciples. Then he appeared to a staggering 500 people. Then he appeared again to his disciples. Jesus' disciples and followers were so convinced that they had seen Jesus alive that they were willing to die horrible, painful deaths. What will you do with the resurrection? When it comes to answering the question, who is Jesus? You must also answer the question, was the resurrection a real thing? Who do you say that he is? This is just a small sampling of what Jesus said and did. But this brings us to a critically important question. Who do you say that Jesus is? Jesus cannot be ignored. You must either reject him outright and have nothing to do with him, or you must believe in him, obey him, and receive eternal life from him. Everyone who believes in Jesus can have their sins forgiven. Everyone who turns from their sin and trusts in Jesus can be brought into a relationship with God. Who is Jesus? You must answer the question today. Don't wait any longer.